Welcome to the Ministry of Random Opinions. I wanted to talk about the economic environment and the workplace and the rise of bullying and employee exploitation and a lack of duty of care that I have seen in the last 5 years. That seems only to be getting worse. That disappoints me, upsets me a little bit. I've been personally involved with. And without wanting to sound like someone who's experiencing something and I'm just lashing out at my protagonists, this is not what this is about. This opinion is about what I am seeing and the fear that I hold for my children and my children's children growing up in what I see as the toxic workplace. Let me explain. It appears to me that in the hunt for profit, that big corporates, it's not exclusively big corporates, by the way, this all flows down. I'll explain that in a minute. But for big corporates, at least, let's pick on them first. They're the ones that seem to be leading the charge on this. That in the search for profit, that the human is a casualty. Employee workforces in general actually are managed on a spreadsheet now. If you look at that spreadsheet, there is no column that says experience, loyalty, can-do attitude. It's basically there's a person's name, a department, and a salary. It appears to me that corporates manage workforces on a spreadsheet, and when the margins, the profit forecasts don't look great, then the humans are the victim. Corporates have cottoned on, and have been doing this isn't a new thing, by the way, but corporates have cottoned on to the fact that technology gives them another bat to hit their employees with, the latest being AI. Of course, there have been many technology developments that have improved profit margins when employed by organizations, sometimes questionably. AI, there's this huge rush for AI, the need to sort of drive profits upwards in a spiraling economy, certainly in the West, where it looks like the US and UK economies seem to be dying on their ass and don't seem to be improving at all. Productivity since 2008 seems to be bumbling along, certainly in the UK, and you can say that, it's pretty obvious, right? And a lot of that is driven by, there have been a few issues, right? The pandemic, the banking crisis, the financial crisis, but the impact of those crises tend to be pushed down the tree to the people less wealthy and employees at the bottom, whilst the top maintain their profit margin by doing the things that they're doing, managing their workforces on a spreadsheet, being ruthless about cutting resources, employing technology to do the same. It would appear that the wealthy are protecting their profits and protecting their wealth, whilst the people at the bottom, the kind of average Joe public, are footing the bill. And it's shocking. It's absolutely shocking. It has to stop. It's noticeable that austerity brought about by 2008, implemented by governments, and now subsequently from the pandemic, have changed the mood, created a depressed society, reduced consumerism, stopped people spending. And if you stop people spending and you depress the general public or the consumers at the bottom end, if you do that, then they're not happy to work harder. They're not happy to put that extra time in, the extra effort in, because they don't see it coming back, right? Loyalty and productivity is a two-way thing, right? It's triggered both ways. Yeah, I don't mind as an employee working hard for a company that demonstrates loyalty to me and rewards me for doing so, and it's not happening anymore, right? And then there's those overriding environmental kind of, certainly in the UK, this depression, this suppression of the worker. And so it's no wonder that we're not eager to get up on a Monday morning. It's no wonder that we're not happy to put, you know, the extra effort in, because people aren't being treated well, and it's really not that good. I would like to say that this is just at corporate level where I believe the devil resides. It's a little bit dramatic, but at corporate level. But actually, this kind of floats down as well. So the need to compete at the lower end drives the same behaviours, and they observe the behaviours that they see in the corporate world, and they're doing it here. It's funny enough, the latest crop of millennial and kind of Gen Z employees, people that are just starting to come into the workforce now and actually make an impact in the workplace, have no loyalty because they don't see it demonstrated. So what you've got is a very transient and mobile professional workplace, not so much in manufacturing and trade spaces, but certainly in kind of professional environments where people are coming out of college, they're demanding a particular level of salary, and they don't get it, so they move on where they can get the salary. They demonstrate no loyalty for the organisation that they work for, and there's a reason for that. It's because they're not given loyalty back, creating a transient and mobile workforce, which creates instability and knowledge drain in certain organisations over other organisations, which subsequently increases the salary of your average worker to attract them to come and work for you, which has an impact on profit margin, which means if you've got to pay more, you're not, and people aren't spending more with your company, i.e., your revenue isn't increasing, your costs are going up. You've got to squeeze the cost down. A lot of people are just attacking the workforce. So they're saying, well, look, I can afford this week, I can afford 20 people at X, but now I can only afford 10 people at Y because the wage has gone up. So I'm going to get rid of 10. And what we're going to do is we're going to implement AI or some other technology to make these people more effective and more productive. So we're going to work you harder. We're going to pay you more money, yes. We're going to give you this technology to make you work harder. But these 10 people just lost out on the bottom of the spreadsheet and they're gone. Now they've got to go and find a job. At the end of the day, it would be really helpful if these organisations recognise that at the back of that spreadsheet are real human beings with real mortgages, real lives, real families, and you're wrecking their lives. For fuck's sake. Get a fucking soul, right? Start to believe in your people. I've always said that whilst in my line of work in cybersecurity, that humans in your organisation are your biggest vulnerability, they're also your biggest asset. Start treating them like an asset, not an entry on a spreadsheet. Understand what they do and do well. Yeah, use that to better your organisation. But just indiscriminately cutting humans away from your organisation, it's not going to end well. And I think we're seeing that. I think we're seeing that in economies. I think in the UK, certainly, the economy seems to be in trouble, I would say. Some of that being self-inflicted through Brexit. But there's still a massive issue. And the corporate and political lies that says, the decisions we made are great, like Brexit, and people coming out saying, don't change Brexit, it's great. No, it ain't. It's had an impact on our economy, on our GDP. Jesus, grow up, recognise it. I'm not saying rush back to Europe, but you need to make that environment better. You need to get investment. You need to be closer to Europe. You at least need a decent trading agreement with them, for fuck's sake. Stop bullshitting so that you can get yourself into a better place. Either, certainly in politics, meeting your political agenda, just so that you can, again, put yourself in a position of power, create gains for your party. Party over country, organisation over kind of human beings. Yeah, it's just wrong. Listen, I'm going to depress myself. I keep talking about this. There's a whole bunch more I could be saying. I'm not going to. Put it in the comments down below if you want to add to this conversation. Like and subscribe. This is a social commentary experiment. We're trying to just gain followers and subscribers based on speaking our minds with zero production value, just speaking into a iPhone. That's basically what I'm doing at the moment. That's an iPhone. I'm speaking into it. You get me raw. This is what I'm thinking right now. Add to it, subscribe, support the channel, and have a great day.